All right, let's talk about college. When you think about it, you probably picture late night study sessions, those big aha moments in class, and, well, a pretty epic social life, right? It's supposed to be the time you find your people, the friends you'll have forever. But what happens when it's not that simple? Today, we're going to get real about social connections in college and how they seriously shape our well-being. I mean, from the second you set foot on campus, you're just dropped into this sea of new faces. Orientation, clubs, classes. Literally everywhere you turn, there's a chance to meet someone new. There's this incredible promise hanging in the air, this feeling that your future best friend could be sitting right next to you. But let's be honest, with that promise comes this low-key, unspoken pressure. A pressure to connect, to fit in, and to build that picture-perfect friend group we always see in the movies. And that really gets to the heart of what we're exploring today. We talk a lot about making friends, but we don't always talk about what's actually happening inside our heads during that process. How does that search for connection, or sometimes the lack of it, really affect our stress, our happiness, and our overall mental health during these super important years? So, to really understand this, we're not going to just talk about theories. We're going to make it personal. Let's follow the story of a student named Alex. Alex's journey through the college social scene really shines a light on the challenges and the breakthroughs that so many of us face. Okay, so meet Alex. Just picture it, arriving on campus, bags in hand, feeling that classic mix of, total excitement and maybe a little bit of terror. Just like so many other students, Alex was absolutely ready for this brand new chapter to kick off. And if you were just looking from the outside, everything seemed great. Alex was doing all the right things, going to classes, signing up for clubs, making that classic small talk in the dining hall. It looks like the perfect, seamless transition into the college experience everyone hopes for. Yeah, but that was just the highlight reel. On the inside, Alex was starting to feel really isolated. Even though Alex was surrounded by people all day long, the conversations felt thin. The connections just weren't sticking. There was this deep loneliness that comes from feeling like you're invisible in a crowd, like nobody really knows you. And you know what? Alex's story isn't some rare exception. It actually points to some very, very common, but often unspoken challenges that pop up when you're trying to find your place in a totally new world. What Alex was feeling really breaks down into these hurdles. First, you've got the sheer pressure of interactions, that feeling that you have to be on all the time, right? Then there's that search for meaningful relationships, for conversations that go deeper than just homework and the weather. All of this feeds into a much bigger struggle for a genuine sense of belonging. And as Alex found out, when that's missing, it has a direct and pretty powerful impact on your mental well-being, leading to things like anxiety and just feeling down. And this all boils down to this really important idea, a sense of belonging. And this isn't just about not being lonely. Psychologically, it's a fundamental human need, like right up there with food and water. It's that feeling that you're part of a community that gets you, that accepts you for who you are. It creates this kind of psychological safety net. In college, having that feeling is a huge predictor of success, both in class and in life. Without it, you can feel totally invisible. And let's be really clear here. This is so much more than just a case of the blues. When you consistently feel like you don't belong, it can lead to serious mental health challenges. It's a chronic stressor that literally chips away at your confidence, your motivation, and your sense of who you are. It's a big deal, and it deserves to be treated like one. So, what happened with Alex? Well, after feeling overwhelmed and totally alone, Alex kind of hit a wall. But this wasn't the end. It was actually a turning point. It was the moment Alex decided to completely rethink the whole approach to making friends. This, right here, was the light bulb moment. For so long, Alex had been chasing a number, trying to collect as many friends as possible, trying to have a packed social calendar. But the big realization was that the goal was never about quantity. It was about quality. It wasn't about having a giant circle of acquaintances. It was about building a small but strong circle of support. Okay, this shift in mindset is everything. It's the difference between having tons of acquaintances you just make small talk with versus having a few trusted friends you can actually have deep, meaningful conversations with. It's the huge difference between just feeling seen in a crowd and truly feeling understood by someone who gets you. That's where the magic happens. That's where real connection is born. Alex's journey gives us this amazing roadmap for what to do when we feel kind of lost in the crowd. So let's take that story and turn it into some practical steps that you can actually use to build your own strong support system.
So it really comes down to these three things. First, just acknowledge that it's hard. It is completely 100% okay to feel lonely, even when you're surrounded by people. Let yourself off the hook. Second, make a conscious choice to go after genuine connection. Forget about being popular and start looking for people you actually click with. And finally, you have to actively build those relationships. Pour your time and energy into the people who make you feel supported, understood, and just good.
So, if you remember one thing, let it be this. Your support system isn't a bonus, it's a necessity. It's absolutely crucial for your well-being. Cultivating these deep, meaningful connections is one of the best investments you can possibly make in yourself, during college and for the rest of your life. It's your anchor, your safety net, and your personal cheerleading squad.
So, as we wrap up, I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. And I mean, really think about it. Who are the people who truly get you? Who makes up that strong inner circle in your life? Because just knowing the answer to that question is the first step to protecting and growing it.